Hey guys, welcome back to the NJH Beats YouTube channel. Just want to say thank you again to all my new subscribers. So close to 300 subscribers. I know I said that last time, but whatever. I've had a lot of new people come and join the family in the meantime. So yeah, thank you all for all your support. What are we doing today? I just want to do a quick video today on just basically how I get a nice clean, loud sounding mix where everything's hitting but everything is not clipping. We're leaving room for headroom, but also I wanted to just share my thoughts on mastering as well. So let's get straight into it. Just a quick video today, just a quick tips on my process in mixing, and just a few things to keep in mind. With that said, it's not overly complex in any way. It's actually very simple. The thing that I always start off with, once I've got everything like arranged in the track, the first thing I do is I go and I turn everything down. So these here, all the stuff here, is I turn this down at the very first point. This is the first point in which you can turn things down. The reason for that is because you want to leave enough headroom at the end of your mix. It's the first point of the signal chain. The signal chain is like a chain of events. It starts here and then it goes into your assigned mixer channel, and then it'll go through any plugins or anything that you've got in the effects rack. And as you can see, I've added 3.2 dBs to the loudness of the sample, so it's not its original volume, and that's very important to keep in mind. That's why we added headroom before. If we need to add frequencies like this, we can, and we still don't have to worry about headroom. Yeah, so from that point, so I've turned everything down, and so what I would do, I would just use my ear. Typically I would use headphones, making sure no frequencies are clashing. So for instance, this the sample had a lot of bass, and I didn't want that bass to clash with the bass that I put in underneath it, so I turned that down, and it had some other frequencies going through here. It sounds like a brass instrument, and I turned that up, and then I turned it down on the, you pretty much do the opposite from where you don't want it to clash. So the bass here is kind of the opposite of what you see in this one, just like that, just so the frequencies that you want don't clash, and that so you can hear everything. What I'm usually doing with EQ is subtractive EQing. I don't tend to add things only if I really have to, because usually it just makes things more complicated. So I just make it easier for myself, and I take away things rather than adding. Another thing that I concentrate on in my mix is panning as well. Panning can change the way that you perceive the loudness of a sound as well. Panning is good too, because you don't want everything straight down the middle of the mix. You sort of want your ears not to get bored. Like, you want some sort of dynamic sort of feeling to the sounds and where they're coming from, especially when you're listening with headphones. Another thing that I want to say is like a lot of the time too, like mixing can be just so super individual as well. You don't have to employ all these different mixing techniques that you've heard from all of these other places. Just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean that you have to do it. It all comes down to what you want to hear, and a lot of the time it's just figuring out on your own how to achieve the sound that you want to hear by just playing around in your DAW. This beat is super gritty, super dirty, and that's exactly the way that I want this beat to sound. It sounds like this. Yeah, I really like the textures and the grittiness of this beat. So yeah, I just EQ a lot. It's nothing, again, it's nothing too complicated. Nothing's coming into the mixer too hot, because if you've got a signal coming into the mixer and it's too loud, it's not clean, it's clipping, and you pull down the fader here, it's gonna have that same signal, and all you're doing is you're pulling that down. So you want to pull the fader down after everything. Once I've done all that, once I've got all the volume where I want it to be, the signal chain is clean, everything's nice and low, what I'll do then is I'll turn down my my volume on my interface, because I've actually got it elevated at the moment. That's due to having everything in the mix so low, so I can actually hear it. But I'll turn it down to where I usually mix to, and I'll go through and show you how I come back up so that you can actually hear everything. I actually use Ozone Elements 8 to make my mixes loud, and so I guess this is where mastering comes in. My thoughts on mastering is, it depends who you're mastering for. If you're doing beat tape, that's when you can master to 0 dB, because there's no vocalist who is coming on and adding to the mix. But if you're sending your beats away for sale to an artist or whatever, they need to have headroom to be able to put their final touches on it. When you send your beat away, it's mastered at 0 dB. They can't, it's really hard for them to finesse the mix so that they can fit their dynamic range in at the end. Mastering happens at the end of everything. So if you are doing a beat tape and no one else is jumping on it, the final product starts and finishes with you, with a beat tape. So by all means master it to 0 dB, but if you're sending it away to someone, leave them headroom. And that's pretty much, that's what I do. It's really simple. So for this one here, I'm not going to send it away. This is sort of just like a, this is kind of just like a beat for Instagram or something like that, just showing the work that I've done recently, essentially. So I would bring, so what this does here is this brings the volume up so that we can hear it. So it was mixed down low, but what this does here is this brings it back up so that we can hear it. And I always bring it to negative 0.3 dB, and then I just bring this threshold down. As you bring this down, the volume increases. We go ahead and just listen to it now. It's still really low, so what we can do is we can bring that down and just until it's our desired listening level. Just like that, and that's how I get a nice sounding loud mix. Yeah, just a quick video today. I know it wasn't thorough at all, but I just wanted to just share with you guys some of the things that have been on my mind lately about mixing, and just showing you the essential things that I focus on. If you've got any questions or you'd like me to expand on anything that I have mentioned in this short video, please leave a comment and let me know on those things that you want me to explain further, and I'd be happy to do that for you. Yeah, until next time, that's us. Peace.